Test, test.
He's the reason why a lot of this online you've seen everyone gel to that team. We're that team.
And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to beautiful Burnaby, British Columbia, and Swangard Stadium. Ready this afternoon for some GNAC football action as the Central Washington Wildcats take the long trip up to Burnaby to face the Simon Fraser clan. My name is Nick Sersky. I'll be the host of Clan TV this afternoon, your play-by-play analyst. You can see down there we've had a pretty steady dousing of rain throughout the evening, and this grass field will be slick. Of course, as we mentioned, it is the final game of the season here for Simon Fraser at home, and they honored seniors prior to the game. 9 Clan seniors playing their final game on this field, and final game for the Clan. We'll honor them as we go throughout the webcast this afternoon. But let's take a look at both teams as we're just about a minute away from kickoff. Simon Fraser, fresh off their bye, coming into the game off of a loss against Western Oregon 2 weeks ago, 45-14. Again here at Swangard Stadium. Looking to improve on their GNAC record with a second win on the season. Led by their quarterback, Brandon Nixich, and the GNAC leading receiver, Ryzen John, leads the league in yardage, almost 1,000 yards on the season, and Nixich sitting second. Their opponent this afternoon is a good one, folks. You're in for a barn burner here because Central Washington is playing for their share of the third straight GNAC championship. They would split it with Western Oregon if they are successful here this afternoon, moving their record to 7-1, their GNAC record to 7-1. So we'll see what this game brings. As for the Wildcats, an offensive juggernaut would be one way to describe them. Their freshman quarterback, Christian Moore, is up there in the league passing, along with Nixich. And their running back, Michael Roots, look for him out there tonight, has almost 1,500 yards on the season and is leading the GNAC by far. The top receivers are Tony Archie and Tyson Rainwater. Each have just over 650 yards on the season. Archie, their red zone threat, with 8 touchdowns. He trails Ryzen John by 1 touchdown. Ryzen John has 9 on the season. As we get ready for kickoff here, a nice crowd on hand. Of course, this will most likely be Simon Fraser's last game at Swangard Stadium ever, as there is a new field being constructed up on Terry Fox Field at the home campus in Burnaby and is on pace to be ready for next season. Back to return is Morrison and Hines. And folks, we are underway. The kickoff will go to Morrison at the 11. Up the middle. Has a couple blocks and he's taken down around the 27-yard line by number 39, Paolo Lujan. And as we mentioned, Brandon Nixich will lead this team out onto the field. For those Wildcat fans that looking back on the season, of course, these teams met 3 weeks ago down in Ellensburg, and the Wildcats were victorious 62-10 on that evening. You're going to see a lot of 3-wide, 4-wide receivers. Nixich in the pistol. Basalt in motion. Hines in the backfield. The give is to Hines. He breaks to his right. He's got some space. Breaks a tackle or two and is pushed out of bounds by number 9, Isaiah Williams. Gain of about 5 yards on the play. Nice to see Simon Fraser get that running game started early, as that'll keep the defense honest. Nixich again in the shotgun. 3 receivers to the far side. John to the close side. Handoff is to Hines, another pulling guard. Hines will lower his shoulder and grind for a few yards. He'll get 3. 3rd and about 2 here, and an important early conversion for Simon Fraser. Sending in their big package. Casey Kircher coming in at running back. And the tight end comes in as well. I believe that's Christian Phillips. The handoff is to Kircher, and he's going to get a first down, dragging Wildcats with him. They'll give him the 41. And 3 straight run plays from Simon Fraser. Not exactly what we're used to, but perhaps that slick field playing into that strategy as Simon Fraser, or as the ball might be slick today. And players just looking to keep their feet down there. Nixic again in the shotgun. Now he'll pass. Looks to his right. He slides away, and he's going to throw that one away. Had Basalt in the flat, but he was covered. Nixic, as we've mentioned later on in this season, has done a really good job of feeling and sensing that pressure, moving away out of the pocket. Not really known as a running threat, though he did attempt a few runs last game. But he can move. I wouldn't call him quick, but he can move and readjust and make throws downfield. Nixic to his left. Pass is incomplete. Intended for a Wunze on the far side. Bring up 3rd and 10. Again, I mentioned this is a big game for the Wildcats. Playing for a share of the GNAC championship for their 3rd year in a row. And their defense likes to force turnovers. They're a +8 in the turnover margin on the season. Simon Fraser sits at a -9. 3rd and 10, Kircher in the backfield. 2 receivers split, Basalt in motion. Nixic takes the snap, looks to his right, senses some pressure, he can move. Flicks it out to his left, intended for a Wunze, but no real chance there. Falls incomplete. Covered on the play by Braden Miles. And the punt unit will come out. It's Keys Metzelar, averaging 38 yards a punt. We'll look to hoof this down into the Wildcats' end. Metzelar warms up his hands. Snap is good. Kick is away. A boomer picked up at the 23 by number 8, Mizutani, and he'll get tackled about the 24 after a short gain. I believe that's number 45. No, we'll make that 46. Pardon me, 49, Isaac Muckian on the tackle. In at quarterback for the Wildcats, number 7, Christian Moore. As I mentioned, he leads the GNAC in passing touchdowns and yardage per game. And the running back Roots takes it. Tackled on the play after about 3 yards. Number 33, Griffin Barrett, of course. The heart of this defense, leads the GNAC in tackles. You're going to hear his name a lot. Wildcats come out in a bit of a hurry up as well. Taking the snap with 22 seconds left on the play clock. Play action, deep, over the middle, overthrown from Moore. Owen had a step, but Moore was just a little off down the seam, and it falls incomplete. Brings up 3rd and 7. Simon Fraser bringing in there another DB, I believe. And they're going to take a timeout. Look, a little bit of confusion before the snap. Only had 10 men on the field. So Matt Duda, number 2, takes a timeout. As I mentioned, Matt Duda is back on the field after missing last game. He, of course, wouldn't want to miss his final game as a Simon Fraser clan member, putting the jersey on for one final time. Missed the last game. It's a lower body injury. He's really the captain on that back end after Simon Fraser lost Brendan Lowry to a torn ACL earlier in the season. Simon Fraser chats it over. Comes onto the field, the rain continuing to pour. Luckily for the fans, the seating is covered. Unfortunately, For the players on the sidelines, they are getting pelted with rain, and it's been pretty consistent throughout the evening. Now Moore looks to his left, and he drops it. Pass is incomplete to number 82, Mikkel Campbell, the freshman. Saw the defensive back, couldn't quite catch the number slip. And Campbell was open at the first down marker, but drops it. So now into punt is number 47, Haggerty, and he gets it away. A fair caught, 31-32 by Ethan Basalt. Simon Fraser will take over their 1st and 10, their second drive of the game. Simon Fraser's defense, we talked about earlier in the season, has been steadily improving. And I don't think some of the scores on the schedule really do testament how good this defense is. They've been stuck with a lot of short fields due to some trouble offensively. But I can say that this offense has looked better in recent weeks under Nick Sitch's command. He's in the pistol, handoff to Glover. Goes to his right, lowers his shoulder, falls about the 34, gains a 2. 2nd and 8 for Simon Fraser. Defensively for the Wildcats, big number 41 in the middle, Hamilton Hunt. Handoff to Glover. Churns those legs and picks up another 4, maybe 5. 3rd and 4. Simon Fraser finding some space on the ground here early this afternoon, which for a young quarterback you always love. Those 3rd and short conversions. So Simon Fraser. Nick Sitch, play action, flips it over to Phillips, and he's going to get tackled in the backfield. And pardon me, that's the other tight end, Tanner Nelson, making the catch in the backfield, but he's tackled quickly. Loses yardage. Brings up a 4th and 6, and we'll see Eisencraft once again. Or pardon me, Metzelar once again. Metzelar standing at his 21. Returner for the Wildcats is number 1, Drake Owen. He's got his heels dug in at the 30. Metzelar awaits the snap. They bring it, and it's blocked. And they're going to pick that up and waltz in for a touchdown. Tevin Gray, the linebacker, picks it up. Scoop and score in the end zone. Couldn't tell who blocked it, but there was multiple Wildcat defenders all over Metzelar. Blocked that one all the way down to the 1. And that was Tevin Gray, 33, that picks it up at the 1. And his senior game is going well. He gets the touchdown. Gives the Wildcats an early 6-0 lead. Just over 10 minutes left in the first quarter. Lining up for the extra point is Patrick Haggerty. Kick is up. And it's good. And Simon Fraser with an early mistake, giving up the punt block. Those are just the sort of plays that you can't have against a good Central Washington team. Offensively, going to have to dial up a drive here to get some points back on the board. Again, I mentioned how effective the Central Wildcats offense has been. Christian Moore leads the league in passing and TDs. And their red zone efficiency, I was looking before the game, 90% efficiency when they get into the red zone. They score a touchdown 90% of the time. Well, they didn't need it there. It was a big special teams play. Haggerty will kick off from the 35. Morrison and Hines to return. They're standing at roughly their own 10.
9 and 6 are from Simon Fraser, former Simon Fraser player, now playing for Wildcat. He sends the kick away as well. Return by number 6.
Morrison takes it at the 5. Goes to his left. He's got a couple blockers. He's going to cut back in and get it out to about the 30, where Simon Fraser will take over 1st and 10. Now their third offensive drive, just one first down so far. Nixich will need to improve on their offensive efficiency on this drive. Nixich once again in the pistol. Common formation for Simon Fraser, 1 tight end and 3 receivers. Nixich rolls to his right. He throws, and it is incomplete. Intended on the play for 15. Robert Metters came over on a crossing route. He comes up limping. He's going to come to the sideline, get checked out. Looks like maybe an ankle or a knee. We'll check on him later. But a design rollout for Nixich just to get him in space. And the throw was just a little low. And Metters not able to make that play. 2nd and 10. 3 receivers to the close side. Awunzi up top. Glover in the background. Or sorry, that's Hines in the backfield. He gets the handoff. And he's dragging the tackler. Gets about 7 yards on that carry. Central Washington had hands on him in the backfield, but Hines able to churn those legs. That's a really nice improvement from a young kid who came in as a track star to Simon Fraser. We know he's got speed, but it's nice to see him break a few tackles as well. If he gets the ball in open space, he will be gone, folks. 3rd and 3. Handoff to Kircher. He's going to get a little short of the first down. It's going to be 4th and 1. So an early decision here for head coach Thomas Ford. About their own 39. And I don't think there's any doubt. I think he's going to go for it. Kircher in the pistol. Oh, sorry. It's Nixich in the pistol with Kircher behind him. They pull a tight end, and he is going to get the first down. Way to drag those tacklers. Kircher gets up. He's fired up about that. A great run there by Kircher, picking up a first down. Simon Fraser's 2nd on the day. Kircher comes out, and they'll bring Hines in. Really nice to have 3 different running backs that you can go to. Keep them fresh. Hines again. He's got space. He's going to go. Oh, and there's a flag. It's going to come back. I believe that's going to be a hold on Ryzen John, the wide receiver. Not sure if that was a necessary hold. It looked like Hines had the edge, but it's going to come back. Boy, that would have been a huge play for Simon Fraser. Flags at the 50-yard line, so they'll take it back 10 yards from there. Boy, that's tough. As I mentioned, Hines in the open field. He is so fast. He comes back. He's excited that he got that run off, but it's not going to count. So I believe that'll make it 2nd and 13, though the down marker says first down. I believe that's 2nd down. No, sorry, 1st and 13 now with the holding penalty. Kircher in the backfield. He takes the handoff, cuts to his left. We'll get a couple. Bunch of Wildcat defenders there. Cody O'Connell in there, making the tackle. Billy Greer, the senior defensive lineman. His jersey's all dirty already. He leads the GNAC with 9 sacks on the season. He'll look to get after Nixic on this one, 2nd and 11. Hines in the backfield. Play action pass. He's going to go to his left. Looked like it slipped out of Nixic's hand. Falls about 5 yards short of the intended receiver. Really no chance there. That was intended for Cobb. If you can air it out for Cobb, you know that he can run under it. He's got the speed to beat those corners down the field. But unfortunately, it just looked like the ball slipped out of Nixic's hand on that play action pass. So 3rd and 11 for Simon Fraser. 3rd drive of the game. Not much offensively. Of course, the big play. Set up a screen, and it's incomplete.
Quarterback gets pancakes by a guy that we call Angel Terry. He's the angel in that situation.
Had multiple Central Wildcat defenders in on him. Set up the screen, but those O-linemen just didn't get enough of an initial push. And the Wildcats got to Nixic before that screen could be properly set up. So 4th down for Simon Fraser. Of course, the last time Simon Fraser brought out this punting unit was blocked and returned for a touchdown. Tevin Gray scooped it up at the 1. Metzelar standing at his 27. The punt's away. Mizutani takes it and is tackled quickly. Tackled on the play by Roman Casey. Mizutani couldn't make much happen on that play. And we'll see Christian Moore in the backfield. Michael Roots, again, I mentioned the GNAC leader in rushing. Handoff is to Moore. Nice spin move. Breaks a tackle. Breaks another tackle. Gets some room to his right side. He's going to get pushed out at around the 51. Pardon me, 51. The 49. The Simon Fraser 49. Gain of over 30 yards, and that's what we can see from Michael Roots. Averages over 143 yards a game, 14 touchdowns on the season, 7 yards per rush. He's in the backfield off to the left of Moore. Hand off to Moore. Got some space on the right side, and he'll get pushed out. Gain of about 5 yards. 2nd and 5. And boy, that Horizon John hold on the Solomon Hines run looms large, as this game could be tied. But now Central Washington marching into Simon Fraser territory. Moore takes the snap, looks to his right, flips it out, complete, breaks a tackle. That's Tyson Rainwater, one of their leading receivers. Just a quick stop route, and Moore able to take advantage. Completes that pass, picks up an easy 1st down. Clock ticks under 6 minutes left in the 1st quarter.
5:51 on the clock as the clock turns off abruptly as I looked at it. 7-0 the Wildcats lead. They hand the ball to Wilkes. Stands the outside, cuts it back in, cuts it in.
Hand off to Wilkes. Breaks a couple tackles. He's going to get about 15 yards on that run. And just a nice shotgun run from the Wildcats, and Simon Fraser doesn't seem to have an answer here early on this drive for this running attack. Nice to have a second running back that can come in and spell Roots. Wilkes only has 27 carries on the season. And now we do see Roots come in. 2 receivers to the near side for the Wildcats. And the option, and they're going to flip it to Roots. Nicely played there by Simon Fraser. believe that was number 16. Anthony Crescenzo, the outside linebacker that made Moore pitch it. And then played Roots pretty honestly and pushed him out of bounds. Loss of 3 yards. Central Washington facing a long second down here. Moore in the pistol. Roots behind him. Takes the snap. Fakes the handoff. Rolls to his left. He's going to run. And his toes are tapped by number 40, Isaac Evans. Brings him down. Makes it a third down a little bit more manageable. 3rd and 7 for the Wildcats. Moore not really known for his rushing. 53 attempts on the season, but can do it when needed. 3rd and 7. As we mentioned, Central Washington, a 90% red zone efficiency. When they get in the red zone, they score. Simon Fraser will look to prevent that here. Roots off to the left. The fake, flipped over, and that's going to be a touchdown. Drake Owen. Covered on the play by Jarrell Cummings. It's just a bit of a play-action pass there, and Owen able to run a quick slant, breaks the tackle at the 2, and runs into the end zone for the touchdown, giving Central Washington 13-0 lead here. Snaps a bit high, but the kick is up. And it's good. Wildcats up 14-0 here. 3:36 left in the first quarter. Now for Simon Fraser. The defense needs a bit of a rest. Offensively, it'd be nice to get a drive together here. Nixic and this run game. Run game showing some efficiency here. Got a couple carries, a couple first downs, but nothing sustainable here for Simon Fraser, and find themselves in an early 14-0 hole. Again, welcome to Burnaby, Swangard Stadium. As I said in the opening, probably the last time Simon Fraser plays. I've been guaranteed by our athletic director that stadium up on Terry Fox Field will be ready for next August. But before I say that this is our final game here, we'll just wait and see if that stadium's ready. But next year, it looks like Simon Fraser will be returning to the mountain up on Burnaby Mountain on a nice artificial field and 2,000 covered seats. Morrison to his left. He's got some blockers. Cuts it back, and he's knocked out of bounds at about the 40. Oh, there is a flag on the far side. Sitting about the 30-yard line, probably you'd assume is going to be a hold. Looked like Simon Fraser was double teaming that outside edge Wildcat defender. Maybe didn't seem necessary, but that's going to bring that nice return back, lose him about 20 yards. They're going to set up 1st and 20. Or sorry, pardon me, 1st and 10 from their own 20. So here we see a change at quarterback. One of the seniors coming in, Mihai Lapust, in the pistol. Throws it out to the right, and it's incomplete to Basalt. Mihai Lapust, one of the seniors here this afternoon. And had a nice little pregame ceremony for those 9 seniors that have been at SFU through thick and thin these past years. The run there, 4 yards. Lapust faces a 3rd and 6 here. on senior day. Probably going to get a couple drives in here. As I look down to the sidelines, I see Mason Glover on some crutches. Does not look like he's going to return. So you see Casey Kircher in there. Pass is thrown by Lapousse to John, and not close. That'll bring up 4th down, and Simon Fraser with a quick drive. He's going to have to punt. And that holding penalty, couple holding penalties loom large in this one. As that sent back Simon Fraser to their own 20. Holding penalty on the kickoff. And now Central Washington's going to get good field position with this with their returner. I think that's Mizutani back there standing at his own 40. Kick is away. Boomer. Nice. Drove Drake Owen back to his 35 where it's fair caught. Nice kick by Metzelar. It's not super windy out there, folks, as we can see the flags in the far corner. The south end zone, they are pretty much stagnant, but the rain continues to pour down here at Simon Fraser. But though, as I look down at the track, it does seem to have lightened up just a touch from pregame. Moore in the backfield. Fakes it. Thrown. Complete. That's Cummings. Makes the tackle. 8-yard gain. Rainwater. Maybe they'll give him 9. Rainwater, just a nice possession receiver over there. Nice curl route. Sits down, and Moore with that nice timing. I think we're going to be hearing Christian Moore's name for a long time. The sophomore could be player of the year, if not for his teammate who we see here. Roots up to his right, goes down to the SFU 45 before he's even touched, and he's tackled there. Looked like an easy first down for the Wildcats, and they are driving once again as we tick under 2 minutes. Three receivers set. Moore fakes, going deep for Rainwater. Nice coverage on the play by Cummings, step for step. Well played, knocked away by Jarrell Cummings. I believe he sits second in the league in pass deflections. To see how many he has on the season. But he's been targeted as a freshman, but has risen up to the challenge. He has 14 pass breakups on the season. Roots to his right, breaks a tackle, breaks 2 tackles, spun down, a gain of 9. It's going to bring up a 3rd down, 3rd and 1. And we see that threat that Roots can be in the backfield. When he gets his shoulders square down the field, it's going to take more than one tackler to bring him down. Pistol once again, 3 receivers and a tight end for the Wildcats. Handoff to Roots. I think he's going to get that. First down for the Wildcats. 51 seconds left here in the first quarter, a couple plays left. You see Roots come out. Eric Wilkes come in. Central Washington has just found some success with these couple runs here and there and some short passes. That's probably predicated by the weather. Not much of an opportunity to go downfield. Wilkes gets about 3 on the play. Tackled by a couple of Wild Clan defenders. We'll see if they get one more play in here before the end of the quarter. Probably not. Moore's going to walk off the field, switch sides. So the end of the first quarter here, Central Washington leads 14-0. I'm Nick Sersky. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more action for the second quarter when we return. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Swangard Stadium. I'm Nick Sersky, your host on Klein TV here. Some GNAC football action, Senior Day, live from beautiful Burnaby, British Columbia. The rain falls here as we enter the second quarter. Central Washington owning this one in the beginning here, 14-0. A little bit of a reverse action, some trickery. Hillel is going to break a tackle. And he's pushed out of bounds. And a late flag. I think that's going to be a late hit on Duda. After the first quarter has not been pretty for Simon Fraser. Nixich 1 for 7. And Lapouste 0 for 2. Simon Fraser getting 2 first downs in that first quarter. Just 42 yards of total offense. Central Washington 115 yards of total offense. And, of course, that big punt block return. They're calling it a 2-yard block punt return. And, of course, that big play from Solomon Hines called back by the Rise and John Hold. Could have tied the game midway through the first. But here we sit at 14-0. And the Wildcats inside the 10. Moore in the backfield. Roots splits out to his left. Play fake. Slant over the middle. Touchdown. JoJo Hillel, man who got the reverse on the last play. Nice pitch and catch there from Moore. That's going to be his GNAC leading 26th touchdown pass on the season. Gives Central Washington 20-0 lead as we just are starting the second quarter here at Swangard Stadium. Haggerty with the kick. It's up and good. 21-0 here for the Wildcats, as it's been all Central Washington early in this one. We see defensively for Simon Fraser, Griffin Barrett with 4.5 tackles in the first, doing all he can in that defensive unit. But Michael Roots and this Central Washington offense has proven just too much so far. 55 yards for Roots on the ground, including a couple big carries, that big 29-yard gain that set up Central Washington. Moore now with 2 touchdowns on the afternoon, one to Owen and one to Hillel. We've got Hines and Morrison back to return. Morrison did have a nice return on the last kickoff, but it was brought back on a holding call. Set Simon Fraser back. That's just something you can't have as a young team playing a very quality opponent. Haggerty will kick it off from his 35.
Doesn't really like it, but I like the score right now as the Wildcats lead. I love.
Picked up at the 10 by Morrison. Makes a cut to his left. Gets outside. Pushed out of bounds at the 30. Shows some speed there. Good change of direction on this slick grass here at Swangard Stadium. And we'll see who comes in for quarterback. As we saw Mihai Lapus, the senior, trot out for the last drive. And it indeed will be Lapus once again, getting his second drive of the game. Solomon Hines in the backfield, and a quartet of receivers out there. Trips to the far side. Lapus hands off to Hines. Gets a few. Tackled on the play by number 90, Angel Terry, the freshman D lineman from Vancouver, Washington. 6'1", 302 pounds. That's a big boy in the middle.
Number 18, Lapus out there. He sits in the pistol. Two receivers to each side of the formation, all on the near side.
Lapus in the pistol, gets the snap. Quick drop. Ooh. Great play by the Central Washington defender. That was 28. The cut underneath. Dayon Hudson cut under that route from Riley Morrison. Didn't look like Lapus saw him. Probably lucky that throw wasn't on target, or that could have been gone for 6 the other way.
More terrible music references to come.
But Lapus just not on his game so far. Now with another third down conversion, Lapus takes the snap, screens past the Basalt. He's pushing, and they're getting close to that first down, and he's going to get it. Boy, what an effort there by Ethan Basalt and probably half the Clan offensive line. Basalt caught the ball at about the 38 and got pushed forward and churned those legs to the 41. Just a nice, easy completion there for Lapus. Something that he's comfortable with. Flicked it out to Basalt, a little wide receiver screen. Picks up the first down. Clan's first passing first down on the afternoon. Hand off to Hines. Cuts to his left. Churns those legs for about 4. 2nd and 6 coming up. A good push there by that Simon Fraser offensive line.
Second down, SFU.
Up to John. Pass complete. Another first down. Lapus looking a little bit more confident in that throw. We see a Simon Fraser player down on the field. Can't quite catch the number from this angle.
Is that Bailey? That's better on Bailey. Sort of Bailey. We call it Bailey. No. Wait, call it Bailey.
Athletic trainers coming out to take a peek.
You know, this offensive line has played reasonably well, especially in the run game.
No much stuff.
That's number 75, Stefan Tange, the senior. He was honored before the game, joined by his parents Dennis and Agnes, and his fiancée Sarah down on the field. He's a criminology and kinesiology major and wants to give professional football a try, perhaps a crack at the CFL, and looks forward to a career in social work afterwards. So we've seen Lapus with a couple nice throws, picking up consecutive first downs. He's in the pistol with Hines behind him. The give is to Hines. Right up the middle. Gets about a yard. A host of Wildcats there. The bottom of that pile is 99, Carbajal. Hines comes off the field. Looks like Kircher will come in. As I mentioned, Mason Glover was injured in that first quarter down there on crutches. He's unlikely to return. Lapousse to throw. He's going to throw it up to John. It's complete down the sideline. Pushed out of bounds at the 26. That's a play that we've seen before, as Ryzen John is the ultimate mismatch for basically any corner in the GNAC. Covered on the play by Schimmelfenning, and Schimmelfenning stands at 5'10", while Ryzen John is 6'7". Lapousse can just throw it up there. Nice pitch and catch. Lapousse, the give to Kircher, cuts to his left, churns those legs, probably gets one. Tackled on the play by 33, Tevin Gray. He was the beneficiary of the blocked punt earlier, picked it up and waltzed into the end zone for Central Washington's first score on the day. I like what we're seeing here from Simon Fraser, mixing it up. Lapousse looks a little bit more confident than he did on his first drive. Takes the snap, looks to his right. He's got a man, Basalt, wide open in the flat. He's going to get a first down easily. Central Washington playing some soft coverage on that far side. Had to respect the fly route from John. And meanwhile, Basalt just sort of trickles underneath that, makes the catch, and gets an easy first down. Simon Fraser moves into the red zone for the first time this afternoon. The 15-yard line. 1st and 10, Hines in the backfield. Bunch receiver set to the close side, Basalt in motion. He's going to look to his left. He's got a man over the middle. Underthrown. Schimmelfenning on the coverage. John says, yeah, throw it up. Throw it up higher. It's got to be. He had him, but just underthrown. And Lapousse just maybe slipped on that wet grass and didn't have the arm strength to get it down into the end zone. 2nd and 10. Lapousse in the pistol. Hines behind him. 3 receivers, 1 tight end. Give is to Hines. Nice little hole on that left side. He's going to get 5, maybe 6. Tackled on the play by Billy Greer. He can get a manageable 3rd and 5 here on the 10, or at the 10-yard line.
3rd and 5.
Now on the left hash, 3 receivers to the far side. Tight end is tight to the left. Kircher in the backfield, the 3rd down back. Lapousse looking right. He's going to throw up in the end zone to John. It is. They're talking about it. The referees are chatting. Touchdown, Clan! What a catch by Ryzen John in the back of the end zone. Gets those feet down inbounds. Referees went to the instant replay in their own head. Touchdown for Ryzen John. His 10th on the season. GNAC leading 10th on the season. Kick is up, and it's good. Eisencraft knocks it through. Simon Fraser with a good response drive here to open the second quarter. A couple nice plays to John. Nice conversion to Basalt in the run game. Keeping the Wildcats honest here on first down. Getting 3 or 4 yards a carry. That Clan offensive line, led by Stefan Tanguay, looks like he's going to come back in the game. He was out there after leaving earlier with an injury. But now, Simon Fraser defensively will have to come up with the stop, as the last two Wildcat drives have ended in touchdowns. I'm Nick Sersky, joining you here on Clan TV. Happy to be here for Simon Fraser's final football game and home game of the season, honoring seniors before the game. 9 different seniors: Steph Tange, Kieran Testa, Tyler Wood, Emilio Tagagallo. A little short squib kick gets picked up at the 40. Those other seniors: Kestu Windsay, Ryzen John, who we saw earlier in the connection with Mihai Lapust, and James Pack, the 9 seniors. And Eisencraft with the kickoff. Not sure if that one was squibbed on purpose or just perhaps the footing down there. Looks like they wanted it a little bit more in the corner. So the Wildcats take over, 1st and 10 on their 40. Again, they are playing for a share of the GNAC championship. Western Oregon clinched their share of the GNAC championship last week as they moved their record to 7-1. And Central Washington looked to clinch their 3rd straight GNAC championship with a share of it with the Wolves. Western Oregon's first ever GNAC football championship. Happy to see the GNAC conference so competitive and exciting year over year. Fake handoff, flips it out to the left, complete. It's going to get pushed out of bounds, gain of about 10 yards. It was 86, Jared Thompson, the junior. Just that play action pass, and that's what a running back like Michael Roots can cause. Is Simon Fraser has to respect that run and bites on that play fake. Moore just flips that out to the tight end coming off the backside. Completes it. Another play action pass. He's got a man deep. Open and knocked away by number 1 Dawson Merchant, the other freshman starting corner on this team. Great play intended for Tyson Rainwater, but knocked away by Dawson Marchant. Again, these freshman corners. Freshman corners Cummings and Marchant have played pretty well, and I'm excited to see how they develop moving forward. Excited to see them on senior night in 4 years. Roots takes the handoff, breaks a tackle on Barrett's tackle, and stumbling forward. He's probably going to get 10 and a first down. And the Roots will come out for Wilkes. Moore in the pistol. Both teams regular formation here. 3 receivers and a tight end. And the cornerback in the pistol. Changing up the play. Moore. He sees the pressure that's coming. Pulls it. He's got a man deep. And there's a flag intended for 82. Campbell covered on the play by 49 Crescenzo. No, pardon me, 49 Muckian, and I think that's the matchup that Moore saw. There's also an additional flag in the backfield in the area of holding or roughing the passer. Not sure. I followed the ball downfield, didn't see the quarterback. But Muckian looked like he might have grabbed him as Campbell was running down the field. The refs are talking about these penalties.
back in Ellensburg listening. We appreciate you listening.
And both penalties against Simon Fraser. So that will move the ball down to the 21 of Simon Fraser. Of course, pass interference in the college game, not a spot foul, just a 15-yard penalty. So they'll just take one of those 15-yard penalties. Can't take both. Split backs, hand off to Roots, and it's flipped back. It looks like he's going to throw in the end zone, wide open. Touchdown, Campbell. That was JoJo Hillel on the reverse pass to Mikkel Campbell. We saw that play earlier. JoJo Hillel ran it last time, but looked like he was clearly going to throw on that one. And Campbell was wide open in the end zone. Central Washington's 4th touchdown on the afternoon. Convert is up and good. And the Wildcats take a 28-7 lead here with 7:26 left in the second quarter. And that's the kind of offense that we can see from this Wildcat team. Quick strike. Confuse the defense with that reverse pass. And a touchdown for the Wildcats. So Simon Fraser brings out their kickoff return team once again. Morrison and Hines, the returners. Haggerty will kick from his 35.
47 to kick, 6 and 9 to return.
It's been Morrison most likely, as he's been on that short side.
And man, a 28-7 second quarter score.
Kick is boomed down to about the 8-yard line. Morrison takes it to his right this time. A wide side return. Picks up a couple blocks. Pushed out of bounds. And a late flag comes in. Not sure who that's on, but it looked like it was after the play. The refs are talking about it. He's pushed out of bounds. Not sure where they're marking it. But here's the call from the referee. Personal foul is called on Mizutani of the Wildcats. And that'll be 15 yards of free yardage for the Clan. That'll bring the ball up probably near midfield. About the 44-yard line. Simon Fraser takes over 1st and 10. And another new quarterback in for Simon Fraser with the give. It's number 14, Nate Hunt, the freshman from Surrey. With the give, he'll come out and Lapouste will come back in. Not sure if Lapouste maybe just needed to tie his shoe or something, but Hines with the carry, didn't get much. Clock ticks under 7 here, 2nd and 10. Simon Fraser.
One running back in the back, 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side, 4
Lapouste takes the snap, fakes, throw is to a Woodsy, and he was all over him. That was Patrick Rogers. He'll get the pass interference penalty because he was all over a Woodsy, the senior. That'll be a 1st down for Simon Fraser. Will move the ball over midfield. Let's see what Mr. Referee calls here. It'll be a hold, so that'll be before the pass was thrown. But it'll still be an automatic first down for Simon Fraser. Gets them into Central Washington territory. Iwunzi not targeted too often, but here on senior night gets his first target and draws a penalty and a first down. Hand off to Hines. Cuts to his left. He's got space. Breaks the tackle down to the 10. And he'll get pushed out of bounds by Chaz McKenzie at the 5-yard line. And we talked about the burst of speed that Hines has. The track star comes in with a huge run down the left side, gain of 35. 40 yards on that play. Breaks a tackle. Nice play by Hines. Now we'll see the Simon Fraser red zone offense here. Simon Fraser breaks the huddle, runs to the line pretty quick. That's Metters in at quarterback. But the give is to Hines. He's going to come up the middle. Gets a couple. And we saw Metters comes in and is going to run that read option at the goal line. Now he keeps it, lowers his head into the end zone. No, they're going to mark him just short. Just short. I thought he landed on the Wildcat defender and fell into the end zone, but the referee comes in and marks it at the half-yard line. Third down. Simon Fraser once again in that packed formation with Metters. Snap, Metters is going to keep it. Touchdown, Glenn! Metters takes it to the right side. Falls into the end zone. Simon Fraser with another response drive, bringing them back within 2 scores. Metters takes it himself, lining up as the quarterback. Of course, normally a receiver. Now Eisencraft in for the extra point. Kick is up. And it's good. Simon Fraser puts another point on the board. 5:07 left in the second. Central Washington leads 28-14. Of course, a couple plays loom large. The block punt return for a touchdown, as well as the hold on Ryzen John on a Solomon Hines 55-yard potential touchdown run. But now Simon Fraser with 2 response drives. We talked about the Central Washington offense before this game, but Simon Fraser showing their stuff this afternoon as well. Responding to the latest Central Washington touchdowns with touchdown drives of their own. Eisencraft into kick. That's to the 14, returned by number 18, Wilkes, the backup running back. He hurdles a defender, breaks a couple tackles. He's going to be brought down by 35. At about the 48-yard line. Good field position for the Wildcats to start. this drive. Central Washington's put on an offensive clinic here. 3 offensive touchdowns with Roots and Moore. But Roots stopped on that one for a loss. Nice play in the backfield. I think that was Barrett and a couple other Clan defenders creating that 2-yard loss. They're going to need a couple more of those to prevent the Wildcats from getting this offense rolling as they have early in this game. Roots moves to the left of Moore. Moore takes the snap, looks to his right. Quick throw. Rainwater tackled. Well done by Marchant. Tackled, gain of about 5. It'll be 3rd and 6. We've seen that play a couple times from Rainwater, but that time Marchant able to rally up quickly, kept his footing and made the tackle, pushed Rainwater out of bounds. Now an important 3rd down opportunity for Simon Fraser to get a stop at midfield. Stop this touchdown streak for the Wildcats. They'll set up a screen, flipped out to the left, caught, but he is tackled by a host of Clan players. Only gets about a yard, and a great stop defensively by Simon Fraser. Short field for the Wildcats, and they're not able to do anything with it. 4th and 7, maybe 4th and 6. I would watch. This is definitely punt fake territory. And in the final game of the season, you know teams want to pull out anything from that bag of tricks. You see Matt Duda out there just saying, be safe, safe formation. Probably not a big rush here from Simon Fraser, just going to fair catch it. And exactly that's what they'll do. Fair caught by Basalt at the 15. And Simon Fraser, 2 consecutive touchdown drives here. Mihai Lapus leading both those drives. The Rise and John touchdown catch in the back of the end zone, a beautiful toe tap. And then the Robert Metters run brought this game within 14. And Lapus taking over at the 15 with 2:47 left on the clock. Simon Fraser has 2 timeouts, so lots of time to create another score. Lapus 5 for 9 on the day, 56 yards. Hines now has 83 yards on the ground. First downs much more even than they were at the after the first quarter, 11-9. Still in favor of the Wildcats, but Simon Fraser's offense showing life here under the direction of senior quarterback Mihai Lapus. Lapus takes the snap, looks left. High throw, nice catch by Metters. Breaks a tackle. Oh, that ball's out, but recovered. Oh, what a play. Lucky for Simon Fraser. That Gavin Cobb was there, Johnny on the spot to pick up that Metters fumble that popped in the air. And Cobb was brought down at the 50-yard line, a big play. And luckily for Metters, recovered by his own player. Kircher with the give. Gets about 2. Wildcats drive him back, and some extracurriculars there as the Wildcats sort of rolled over the Simon Fraser player, but it looked like the flag came afterwards when the Clan member pushed him back. Looks like Kircher got rolled up on there by the Wildcat defenders. The referees are talking about it, perhaps offsetting.
At the end of the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 75, on the offense, 15-yard
And they're just going to call one against Stefan Tanguay. And that'll push Simon Fraser back 15 yards from the end of that run. And that's just a tough play. You see your running back get rolled up on like that, and your offensive lineman comes to your defense and he gets tagged with the penalty. Unfortunately, that's sometimes how it goes in sports. The instigator is not often the one with the penalty. That's just an unfortunate break for Simon Fraser that the referees didn't pick up that play by the Wildcats. But now Simon Fraser, 2nd and 25. Lapousse takes the snap, looks to his left. He's going to go over the middle. Ooh, Cobb got a hand on it. He was there, but that pass was a bit behind Cobb, and he wasn't able to make a circus grab. Boy, that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty is going to loom large, grinding this drive to a halt. Except if Simon Fraser can pick up 25 yards or draw some sort of penalty here with 1:20 left in the second quarter. Lapousse in the pistol, Hines behind him. Lapousse going over to the right, throws it, knocked away. Not even sure who he was throwing that to. That was well underthrown to John. That was number 9, Isaiah Williams, that knocked it away. Probably could have had the interception, should have had the interception, but falls harmlessly to the turf. And Metzelar will be able to punt this one away and give Simon Fraser a bit more friendly field position. 1:14 left on the clock. Wildcats do have 3 timeouts, so lots of time left for them to respond for the score as we near halftime.
Punter 48,
The returner for the Wildcats is Mizutani, standing at his 30. Not much wind here this afternoon. Metzelar with the kick. That's going to bounce and hopefully take a Simon Fraser roll, and it will. Down to about the 23. Down by the Clan there. And we'll see what Central Washington has dialed up. They've got about a minute left. We know how dangerous this offense can be. We'll see if they have some quick strike ability here. Just over a minute left, but 3 timeouts. Lots of time left here for the Wildcats. Simon Fraser with a defensive stop on their last drive. A nice 3-and-out around midfield as there was a good return. More pump fakes, looks to his left. He's going to flip it out, and that's not even catchable. Way out of bounds. And more with that pump fake, but not able to make those Clan defenders bite. And that'll bring up 2nd down. 2nd and 10. 3 receivers to the near side. Roots in the backfield. Simon Fraser brings some heat, but it's protected well, and he's got a man deep. That's Rainwater. Catch and pushed out of bounds. Just looked like Rainwater got behind the coverage. It's a bit of a long developing route. There is a flag on the far side, but they're talking to the Wildcat coach. So this one's going to stand. Will it add on? That's the question. Rainwater with an acrobatic catch. Just got behind Duda. And the face mask against Simon Fraser. That's going to... Well, they don't add it on. They're going to just decline it. Thought with a face mask penalty that would be added on to the end of the play. We'll see. Now they're talking about it again here. Yeah, should be assessed at the end of the play, and there it is. That'll be 15 yards from the 37, so down to the 22. They're going to mark it at the 23. So that's a big penalty, big play. Really flips the field. Rainwater with the nice catch and a face mask on the far sideline. Now Simon Fraser will take a timeout, perhaps to just rally the troops a bit after that 55-yard play in total. Rainwater with the nice catch, but an additional penalty. Didn't see who it was on. It was on the far sideline. Perhaps just an accidental face mask by one of the DBs for the Clan. So Simon Fraser is going to talk about it. Defensively, you'd love to have a stop here. 49 seconds left. 3 timeouts for the Wildcats. Plenty of time. But we've seen this Clan defense show up in spurts here this afternoon. Had a couple 3-and-outs, but also a couple drives where Simon Fraser has just been driven down. The Wildcats offense, we've seen 3 touchdowns from them so far, and then of course that special teams play, punt block, first touchdown that the Wildcats had as well. So now Moore in the shotgun, Roots to his right, 3 receivers to the far side of the field.
3 receivers to the far side, Campbell being one of them. One to the
Simon Fraser brings some heat. He's going to throw to his left. That's well covered. Knocked away. Great play by number 5, Adam Turin in at DB. Haven't heard his name often this year, but he makes a great play knocking that ball away from number 82, Mikkel Campbell. Great play by the Clan defender. Shotgun again. Now Simon Fraser drops back. Another deep pass. Well covered. Knocked away. I think that was overthrown again. They've got Turin in coverage, and Duda was also there. Up for Campbell in the corner. He was double covered. There was not much there. Brings up 3rd down, 3rd and 10 for the Wildcats. 37 seconds to go. And Moore in the shotgun. He's going to have Roots to his right. We'll see what Simon Fraser dials up defensively. 1st down they blitz. 2nd down they drop back. 3rd down. They're going to drop back. Try and confuse Moore. He's right there. Nice play. Knocked away in the end zone. Read him like a book. Adam Turin targeted 3 times in a row on that drive. And 3 times up to the task. 3 great plays by Adam Turin. And a great play call there by defensive coordinator Taylor Summers. Now the Wildcats will take a timeout. Adam Turin in the game. Looks like for number 1, Dawson Marchant. And he's been up to the task again, targeted 3 consecutive plays. The junior from Burnaby, Notre Dame High School, makes the play. I'm Nick Sersky here for Clan TV, joining you from rainy Burnaby, British Columbia. Not a cold afternoon, but the rain consistent, not much wind. The field is slick. Last game, of course, of this GNAC season. Central Washington playing for a share of the GNAC championship, their 3rd in a row. And Simon Fraser looking to double their GNAC win total. Trying to get that elusive 2nd win in the GNAC. 4th down here Moore in the shotgun, roots to his right. 3 receivers to the far side. He looks to his left. He throws. Defender slipped, and it's complete to Jojo Hillel down to the 5. And the Wildcats will take a timeout, and they'll have a couple shots here from the 5. And it just looked like that defender slipped. Couldn't see who it was. The Wildcats take that timeout. Looked like 49 in coverage. That's Muckian, dropped under the receiver, but slipped, and Hillel makes the catch. Muckian was there, but again, we mentioned that slick turf. Affecting that play, and Hillel able to keep his feet, make the grab, and come down at the 5. And now this Wildcat attack will have 4 cracks from the 5-yard line, 2 timeouts, lots of time. Could even run a couple times with those 2 timeouts in their pocket. You see 4 wide receivers, 3 to the near side. Moore in the backfield. Takes the snap. Option. He's going to throw it. No, he's not. He's going to take it himself, and he runs it in for a touchdown. Just looked like the Clan defenders were outnumbered at the point of attack, and Moore didn't even have to flip it on that option play. Runs it in for a touchdown, adding to his offensive day. It's now his 4th rushing touchdown on the season. And while not his strength, it's definitely something that he can do. Simon Fraser concedes their 5th touchdown of the half. The extra point is good, and Central Washington will take a 35-14 lead with just 16 seconds left here in the first half. Not much Simon Fraser can do with this last drive, and pending a long kick return. I've liked what I've seen from the Simon Fraser offense here in this second quarter. Mihai Lapus, the senior, has come in and made a couple good throws, and this offensive line has opened up some holes for Solomon Hines. Of course, Mason Glover out with an injury, suffered in the first quarter. Looks like he's not going to return. Solomon Hines is going to get the lion's share of the work here. We saw also Casey Kircher limp off. But it looks like he's back on the sideline testing that out. Haggerty will kick from his 35. Just kind of pooches it down there. Picked up by one of the upbacks. And that big man, he wanted to return that. That was 66, the defensive tackle, Christian Bunchinson. But he just got down on a knee and wasn't able to return. So they'll put 16 seconds back on the game clock. Simon Fraser will get the ball 1st and 10 at their 24. And we're going to see Lucas Sabow in at running back, the freshman from New West. Hayaks football. Lapust in the pistol. Is the give to Sabow. Nice run there. Gains about 6. And that'll run out the first half. Simon Fraser trailing the Central Washington Wildcats 35-14. Solid effort here by Simon Fraser on Senior Day. Coming to you live from Swangard Stadium. Clan TV. We'll take a look at the stats when we come back with just about 5 minutes left in halftime. We'll take a short break. We'll be back at you after this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Swangard Stadium here at beautiful British Columbia. My name's Nick Sersky, host of Clan TV this afternoon. Howard Samura sends his regards from the BC Football High School Championships at BC Place. And he's also got his Howard Samura basketball tournaments coming up. We've got a game here, folks. Central Washington leads 35-14 over the Clan as the clock ticks down just about 3 minutes till we restart this third quarter. Taking a peek at the halftime stats, really sticks out to me is that efficiency from Mihai Lapus, the senior. 6 for 12, 88 yards. Not much yardage, but that nice touchdown throw to John. And then Solomon Hines on the ground, 13 runs for 84 yards. That long run down the left sideline that set up the Metters touchdown, 41-yarder. On the other side, we've seen this offense before, and we'll see it again coming years. Mr. Moore in at quarterback, 10 for 18, 3 touchdowns as well. That flip pass from Hillel to Campbell, threw it into the end zone on that trick play with 7:26 left to give Central Washington a 28-7 lead. But again, I mentioned in the second quarter, very impressed with the response rate from this Simon Fraser offense. They've responded on 2 Central drives with touchdowns of their own. Leading receiver once again for Simon Fraser, Ryzen John, 3 catches and that beautiful touchdown toe-tapping catch in the end zone, 38 yards. Defensively, Griffin Barrett, 5.5 tackles, and Ian Crocker, 3.5. Some beautiful plays defensively by Marchant, Cummings, and Adam Turin at the cornerback spots to keep this game close. Simon Fraser, of course, last faced the Wildcats 3 weeks ago. Lost 62-10 down in Ellensburg. And this is obviously, as I mentioned, a game that matters for the Wildcats. They're not just playing out their season either. They are in contention for the GNAC Conference Championship, a share of it to share with the Western Oregon Wolves, who clinched their share last week as they move their record to 7-1. The Wildcats 6-1 coming into the game this afternoon, looking to move to 7-1 if the scoreboard holds this afternoon. Simon Fraser will kick off here to start the second half, and it's going to be very important that they dig in defensively and stop this Wildcat offense from making this lead any worse than it is. A couple injuries of note, as I mentioned. Mason Glover left the game in the first quarter, and he will not return. Still down on the field, down on the sidelines in crutches. Steph Tange left for a short minute, but he is back. Casey Kircher looks like he'll be back. Thought I saw him down on the sidelines warming up. We'll have to see. We get our first third down conversion. Eisencraft to kick from his 45. His 35, pardon me. Back to return. It's Wilkes in 21. Roots. Wilkes gets a good return there. It's going to take it up to about the 43. That sloppy field down there, some broken tackles, some slick jerseys. And the Wildcats will take over their first possession of the day, of the half, I mean, at the 42-yard line. And we'll see Christian Moore once again under center. Michael Roots in the backfield. 3 receivers to the near side. Moore takes the snap, gives to Roots, and he's dragged down at the line of scrimmage by Griffin Barrett. Sliced in there. Makes a tackle for no gain. Well played by Barrett. Christian Moore, 2 touchdowns in that first quarter. First half, pardon me. Looking to build on that in this second half. Moore in the pistol. Takes the snap. Gives to Moore off the right. Breaks a tackle, but he's going to be dragged down in the backfield. Loss of about 3. Simon Fraser gritting its teeth here with the Wildcats getting good field position off that special teams return. It'll be a 3rd and long conversion here for the Wildcats. The GNAC leading passer, Christian Moore, will have to make a throw here to pick up a first down. Running back Zach Floyd in to his left. He's still got a clean jersey, hasn't had too many. He rolls to his left, the ball is thrown and it's knocked away. Could have been picked by Jarrell Cummings. Another pass defense by Jarrell Cummings. Up there in the GNAC list of leaders in that category. Well played. Wildcat defender couldn't keep his feet and Cummings steps in front. Knocked it away. 4th down for the Wildcats. The returner is Basalt, standing at his 20. It's away. It's going to bounce. Just kind of stop up at the 24, 23-yard line. And Simon Fraser, offensively led by senior quarterback Mihai Lapust, who came in to spell quarterback Brandon Nixich. And it will be Lapust trotting out there with the ones. That offensive line has done a good job protecting Lapust. No sacks on the afternoon for the Wildcats. Haven't been able to bring down an SFU quarterback this afternoon. Simon Fraser trips to the close side. Give is to Hines. Dances through, breaks a tackle. He's got space. He's got speed. And he's just tripped up the 45-yard line. Boy, if he broke that tackle, he was gone. And we've seen some beautiful cuts from Solomon Hines. Breaks to the outside to his left. Big play. Big yardage there on the first down, or their first play of this second half. And Hines up over 100 yards now on the day. Mark it at the 45, or he's pushed out of bounds. 1st and 10, Simon Fraser. Lapust into pistol. 3 receivers, 1 tight end. Hines again. Gets the give. He cuts to his left. Breaks a few tackles. Look at that. Fancy footwork. Gains about 5. Boy, this Hines kid has really developed this season early on. We really just saw that straight line speed, but I have seen over these past 2 weeks some beautiful cuts inside, outside, making people miss, not going down after first contact. Yards after contact there. He was met at the line of scrimmage, but picks up 5. Simon Fraser, 2nd and 5. Lapust, quick throw. Going to throw to John. Incomplete. Not a great pass. Kind of led him out of bounds. And good coverage there by Schimmelfenning. 3rd and 5. I'd assume this is 4-down territory for Simon Fraser. So could either look short and try and break one, or take a shot. Hines comes into the backfield. Kircher, again, he's back. But trots out, and Hines comes in. 3 receivers to the far side. The give is to Hines. And he's going to be brought down in the backfield. Tackled for a loss of 2. And there's some extracurriculars after the play, and Simon Fraser, offensive lineman, pleading with the referee for a penalty perhaps, but it's not to come. So 4th and 6, loss of 1 on the Hines run, and they're going to go for it. 3 receivers to the far side, tight end to the right. Hines in the backfield, takes a snap, looks left, over the middle, through the arms of Ryzen John, falls incomplete. That'll be a turnover on downs. And the Wildcats will take over at the 41. Boy, right through the hands of John, and he had daylight as a defensive back. Looked like he slipped. Wasn't able to keep his feet. Just through the arms of John. Boy, that could have been a touchdown, folks. Wildcats take over. Christian Moore in at quarterback. He's going to take it himself. Sweeps out to the left. Maybe gets a yard. Maybe half a yard. Design quarterback run. Not something you see very often from Moore, though he does have a rushing touchdown on the day on the option play just before half. Kept it himself. Scored a touchdown. His 4th on the season. Double tights, running formation here, I bet. Moore takes the snap. The give is to Roots, sure enough, and he gashes through the middle, but a nice tackle by Griffin Barrett. Looked like Roots had a little bit more space, but Barrett with a sure-handed tackle. The GNAC leading tackler makes the stop after a gain of 5. 3rd and 5 for the Wildcats, and another possible 3 and out here for the Wildcats if the Simon Fraser clan can get a stop here. 4 receiver set, split. Now Jojo Hillel motions across, looks to his right, passes complete to Rainwater. Covered on the play by 24, Peyton Reed. But Rainwater just able to slip in behind that coverage there. Just underneath the linebackers and in front of the defensive backs, and Moore found that window. Threw a rocket in there, completed the pass. Moore in the pistol. Roots behind him. Roots with the carry, and he's going to break a couple tackles. Boy, those legs churned and picked up about 8. Simon Fraser faces a 2nd and 3 here defensively. And we saw Roots in the first half had that long 29-yard gain, but held in check towards the latter half of that first half, just 68 net yards. Solomon Hines, so far the leading rusher in this game. Moore takes the snap, fakes to Roots, over the middle, pass is incomplete. Sam Sanchez, the intended receiver, and it went through his hands. The throw was a bit behind him. Falls incomplete. Now a 3rd and 3. Probably 4-down territory for Simon Fraser. Or sorry, for Central Washington. We see Moore in the pistol, as usual. Roots in the backfield. Yeah, it looked like Central Washington was in an illegal formation there, so they're going to take a timeout. If they would have snapped that, that would have been a penalty. No end on that right side. Head coach sees that, and head coach Chris Fisk sees that and calls the timeout. So 3rd and 3 here for the Wildcats. Central Washington going to chat about it. We've seen a couple nice plays by the Wildcats here after their big stop on 4th down. Simon Fraser driving into their territory, but were able to force that incompletion. LaPouste over the middle to Ryzen John, and just through his fingertips went from a possible touchdown to a turnover on downs. And now here we sit. 3rd and 3, the Simon Fraser 31. Moore in the pistol. Roots behind him. 2 tight ends split out. 4 receivers. Roots now trickles to his right.
Back in the action is Moore.
Slips out to the flat, and he is going to be tackled. And they're going to fight for yardage, but not going to get any. And he's tackled it behind the line of scrimmage. Stopped. -1 yard. And we sort of aren't used to seeing Roots catch the ball out of the backfield, but he slips into the flat with makes a nice catch, but Simon Fraser able to rally up. Couldn't see who was on the tackle there, but could have been the weak side linebacker there, Anthony Crescenzo. But now we've got 4 wide. And Moore in the shotgun. Takes the snap. Looks to his left, now to his right, throws it back, and Rainwater catches it. That'll be a 1st down. Rainwater, again, just sort of sat down in that window defensively and able to pick up a 1st down. And this Washington Wildcat offense just continues to churn through yardage here in a rainy afternoon. Simon Fraser, Swangard Stadium in Burnaby, BC. I'm Nick Siersky joining you. GNAC football action here. Moore looks to his right. He's hit and thrown. Touchdown, Wildcats. And that was Tyson Rainwater. Makes the catch and breaks a tackle. Simon Fraser's going to go down by 4 scores here, as the Wildcats seem like they're on their way to clinching a share of the GNAC title. Christian Moore with this 3rd touchdown pass, 1 rushing. Haggerty, point after attempt is no good. So 41-14 for the Wildcats. And now the Simon Fraser offense will to lick their wounds off of that 4th down turnover on their last drive and have to rely on the senior Mihai LaPouste to drive down the field here. Hopefully respond with a score, as they did twice in that 2nd quarter. The Ryzen John touchdown catch and the Metters touchdown run. We've got Haggerty to kick.
All right, 370 kick. Dude, you just gotta communicate.
Morrison and Hines to return. And it will be Hines taking it at his 12. Up the middle. Breaks a couple tackles, and it's going to be brought down. Good return. Brought up to the 36, maybe 37. Simon Fraser's got decent field position. Hines can do it all here. He's been all over the field. A couple big runs. One called back, of course, in that first quarter. Another game-changing play. Just an unfortunate holding call against the receiver, Ryzen John. Brought back what potentially would have been a 55-yard touchdown run by Solomon Hines. Hines with the carry here. Not going to get much. Stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Bunch of Washington tacklers there. Could have been 28. Dayon Hudson. Second and 10, four receivers, 3 to the wide side of the field. Lapousse takes the snap, looks to that far side, throws, complete to Basalt. He's going to get about 7, maybe 8. So make a manageable third down conversion here for the Clan. Basalt's really been that possession receiver all along this season. We've got Ryzen John who can pretty much do it all, but Basalt can kind of sneak in between coverages and make those tough catches. We've seen him pick up a couple first downs this afternoon. Kircher in the backfield now. Lapousse in the shotgun. Gives it. No. Fakes. Oh! And the Wildcats fell for that play-action pass, but the pass went through the hands of tight end Tanner Nelson. Now brings up fourth down, and Simon Fraser is going to bring on their punting unit. Boy, they had the Wildcats tricked on that one. Unfortunately, Tanner Nelson couldn't quite squeeze that wet ball down there. It is starting to pick up again, that rain. But boy, that's 2 potential long plays that have been just slipped through the receiver's hands. And a flag on the field, and they've called 12 men in the huddle. Move back 5 yards. We see Metzelaar snap a little bit to the right, but he'll get it away, and that'll take a SFU bounce. And he's going to get knocked out of bounds. And there's going to be a late hit. Bit of an embellishment there, but that'll be 15 extra yards. That was Simon Fraser, number 30, Drew Nicholson. Hits the returner out of bounds. That was Mizutani. They announced it on the receiving team, but it's definitely on Simon Fraser. It's going to be walked up 15 yards from where that one went out of bounds. They're going to talk about it a bit more, but it is a personal foul against Simon Fraser. 15-yard penalty will be marked off starting at the 23. They'll take it up to the 38, where the Wildcats will take over. 5 minutes left here in this third quarter. 4-score lead. Probably just looking to run this one out as GNAC champions. Moore takes the snap, give to Roots. He's got his lane up the middle. And he's sliced down by the safety. That was 25. Ian Crocker on the tackle, came down in the hole and sliced down Roots for a gain of 4. 2nd and 6. I think we're going to see a good dose of this as this game gets into its later stages. We've seen Central Washington snap the ball with 25 seconds left on the play clock. Now they're running it down to about 7 or 8. Handoff to Wilkes. Gets 5 yards, 3rd and 1 for the Wildcats. Right around midfield. Seeing some new faces defensively out there for Simon Fraser. In at safety, Colby Buljevic. Play action pass. Going deep. He's got a man. It's complete. Hammond, and he's going to be wrapped up at around the 11. They mentioned some new names in that defensive backfield. Getting a chance to play in there in this final game of the season.
Welks is going to have a nice dirty jersey after this game.
That's number 20 back in there at safety. Jordan Ivani listed as a... Oh, no, pardon me. That's 29. That's Colby Buljevic. Wilkes in the backfield. Play action pass. He's got pressure. He's going to flip it out to the left. And knocked away. Great play by Jarrell Cummings once again. Johnny on the spot. Knocks it away. I think that's his 3rd or 4th pass breakup of the afternoon. He's having another great game.
Ian Crocker, one of the linebackers, another one of those Washingtonians. Ian Crocker went to Ballard High School down in Seattle, applying for pleasure.
We see Wilkes in the backfield once again. Double tight ends to the right of the formation. Moore in the pistol. Takes the snap, fakes it, throws over to Rainwater, falls incomplete. Covered on the play by Dawson Marchant. Probably if he catches that, it's another touchdown, but Rainwater unable to control that bullet from Moore. Third down and 10 now from the 12. Maybe the 11. Wilkes motions to the left side. 2 receivers to the left. Moore rolls to his right. A screen pass to Wilkes, and it falls incomplete. Looked like Simon Fraser had it snuffed out, and some pressure. Couldn't tell who that was. Could have been James Pack rushing Christian Moore's throw, and it falls incomplete. Now Central Washington with a decision to make. It is a wet field there, so maybe not ideal conditions for a field goal here. Now Simon Fraser's going to take a timeout, chat about what the option Central Washington will do. And I mentioned the red zone efficiency of the Wildcats. They are 3 for 3 on the evening, or on the afternoon, pardon me, and potentially going 4 for 4. Simon Fraser could use a stop here. Wrapping up their GNAC schedule. 8-game GNAC schedule this season, and of course The GNAC partnering with the Lone Star Conference. We did play a few Lone Star Conference teams this year. It looks like Haggerty's going to go for a field goal attempt, about a 29-yarder. Kick is up, and it is good. Makes 44 for Central Washington, and I was chatting about the sort of new age GNAC schedule. Again, we fortunately lost Humboldt last season, and the conference has now shrunk to just 4 teams. So now looking to the Lone Star Conference to pair up with and do I believe it's 2 games. I believe it's a 2-1 schedule. So teams will alternate 2 road trips or 2 home games. A rotating 3-game schedule with 2 home games one year, 2 away games the next year, 2 home games, so on and so forth. And boy, folks, if you've ever seen football in Texas, you are in for a treat. Simon Fraser, of course, has played Angelo State earlier this season and lost down there 68-7. And they're serious about their football down in Texas, and you can just tell by the amount of talent that they produce. A little bit of a pooch kick. Hopped on by just getting his own man tackling him, sort of, and brought down about the 21. Looks like it, about the 21. We'll mark it off. 2:34 left in this third quarter. SFU down by 30. Mihai Lapus in under center. He was joined here this afternoon in a pregame ceremony by his parents, Nikolai and Michaela, and there's a fumble on that play. That's going to be picked up by the Wildcats. And it was Hines just lost control of that ball and picked up by the Wildcats. And they're going to take over at the 25. Opportunity to drive in for another score. I mentioned a few of the seniors. Emilio Cantagallo, defensive lineman from Vancouver, BC. Been playing football for 10 years, and his parents, Piero and Connie, are here this afternoon. He's a finance major. He wants to work in the financial services industry after graduation. And we chatted with a bunch of these players before the game, and the common thread was that victory against Azusa Pacific, which was their first GNAC win since 2015. And most of the players, some of their first victories in the GNAC conference. Matt Duda was joined by his brother and sister Chris and Lauren. He's majoring in accounting as well and wants to get his CPA after graduation. He was named a GNAC all-academic team this past season. And again, his favorite memory was beating Azusa Pacific. Christian Moore with the snap, gives it to Roots. Some room up the middle. Looked like he was down at the 20. He tried to get back up and run a little bit more, but they're going to mark him down at the 20. Brings up third down. 3rd and 4. Just over 2 minutes left here. We'll talk about James Pack, one of the big boys in that defensive line. He was joined by his mother, Jennifer, his grandma, Jung, and his brother, Joel. Criminology major and wants to be a full-time musician after graduation. He, of course, his favorite memory was that victory over Azusa Pacific as well. 3rd down, 3rd and 6. Moore looks to his left, throws over the middle. He's got a man. Touchdown. Jojo Hillel, covered by Dawson Marchant, but Marchant appeared to have slipped on the play. And the Wildcats respond quickly, given on that fumble by Hines, and just a few plays later, march into the end zone.
Right now, he slipped and fell in the mud, and that left JoJo wide open for school 6.
As the rain falls down, Jeff
Haggerty will line up for this extra point to take this to 51.
actually won here. But we talked about a little earlier. We talked about Will's speed earlier.
Kick is up, and it's good. Makes it 51-14.
Yes, it did. All by myself. I beat him.
Simon Fraser's kickoff return team, who we've seen quite often this evening, this afternoon. Morrison and Hines back to return, starting off standing at their own 5. But the rain continues to pour here at Simon Fraser's home field for now, Swangard Stadium. As I mentioned in the pregame, this will probably be Simon Fraser's last game at Swangard Stadium, as there is a brand new stadium facility being built on campus, attaching to the field that's currently up there. But a covered seating, some new change rooms, new facilities, and just a great experience for student athletes. And that's poised to be open in early August, ready for training camps, and a great addition to the student-athlete experience at Simon Fraser University. Kick is away, kind of dribble down. 53, Jordan Russell picked up that squib and took a knee down at the 28-yard line. Mihai Lapouste will once again lead the Simon Fraser offense onto the field. 3 receivers. And tight end just flipped out to Cobb. Caught at the line of scrimmage, and he's going to be brought down quickly by Chaz McKenzie and a couple of other Wildcats. I haven't heard Cobb's name too much this afternoon. He had one glance off his fingertips earlier and catches that one, but just a gain of about a yard. Lapouste, the give to Hines. Cuts out to his right, bounces out, and gets a few. I'll say 3, and it'll bring up 3rd and 6 here for Simon Fraser. Clock ticking under 1 minute now, down to 45 seconds in this third quarter. Lapouste in the pistol, looking to the sideline for the signals. Casey Kircher.
3 receivers to the far side of this formation. 3rd down and 7 for Simon Fraser. Wildcats looking.
Looks to his left, throws left, and it falls incomplete. Intended on the play for Gavin Cobb. And Keys Metzelar will come out to punt once again for Simon Fraser. Standing at his own 35-yard line, that's Drake Owen. End over end kick, and takes an SFU bounce. Touched by the returner, and that'll be recovered by Simon Fraser. A muffed punt. Recovered by 45. Casey Kircher looks like he picked up that one. Simon Fraser catches a break. As the returner probably just should have let that one go. That was 49 on the recovery. Isaac Muckian, it looked like. Pardon me, not Kircher, Muckian. Simon Fraser, 1st and 10 from the Central Washington 25-yard line, looking to chip away at this lead. Lapouste in the pistol. Hines behind him. 3 receivers, 1 tight end. Lapouste, play action, looking to his right. He's going to go deep for John, and it is incomplete. Great coverage on the play. That's 44. Schimmelfenning, who's been glued to John for the majority of this afternoon, giving up 9 inches on Rising John, but done a pretty good job. Lapouste in the pistol. 7 seconds left in this third quarter. Give is to Hines. Cuts to his right. Dekes inside outside, but wrapped up at the line of scrimmage by Jeremiah Vasquez. And that's going to bring the end to this third quarter. 51-14, Central Washington leads. I'm Nick Sersky hosting GNAC football here on Clan TV. And we'll be right back after this short break. Folks, welcome back. Nick Sersky here on Clan TV, GNAC football. Wrapping up the GNAC schedule. We've got an important game here for Central Washington and Simon Fraser, as Simon Fraser hosts their senior night, and Central Washington looking for a share of the GNAC conference title. Lapouste looks to his left, intended for John, falls incomplete. 4th down now. Falls incomplete. Simon Fraser is going to go for this one from the 25-yard line. It'd be a long field goal for roughly 42-yarder. Lapouste takes the snap, brings some heat, and he's going to go down. And that's going to be number 41, Hamilton Hunt, with the sack, and that'll force a turnover on downs. Second time Simon Fraser's been stopped on 4th down here this afternoon. One of the bright spots here this afternoon has been the play of Solomon Hines. 20 carries for 126 yards, and could have had even more as he had a long touchdown called back on a holding penalty. As we head into this fourth quarter, probably see some backup players. Some of those seniors get in their last few plays. That's Zach Floyd, running back senior for the Wildcats. And down on the play is a Simon Fraser linebacker, I believe. Can't get the number. It's up on his feet. That's 29. Buljevic came in and played safety this afternoon, and so we'll see number 31, Evan Curry, the freshman from North Vancouver, come in and take his spot. I can tell he's just stepping into the game for the first time because his jersey is very clean as opposed to his teammates who have quite dirty jerseys, as the slick field here
He slid.
Handoff.
Tackled by 30.
That's 31. Once again, Floyd looks like he's going to finish out this game. GNAC leader Michael Roots. Just 83 yards on the day. Simon Fraser effectively bottled him up, but Christian Moore, 4 touchdown passes on the day, 16 for 30, over 200 yards. And Rainwater with 7 catches for 110 yards. He's had quite the game. Big hole up the middle. That's going to be Zach Floyd. But once again, I think we're going to call that name quite often here as time ticks away. 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter. As we look down on the field, we see senior Matt Duda commanding that defense, playing his final game for Simon Fraser. Another senior on defense is Kieran Testa, defensive lineman from Abbotsford. His parents Diego and Moira joined him before the game. He's a physics major, and after graduating from his undergrad, he wants to do a graduate degree and go into a career in research. Nice run there by Zach Floyd. An unsportsmanlike conduct call against Ian Crocker after the play, and that'll be another 15 yards. The last 2 seniors we'll chat about. Sorry, we got 3 more seniors to chat about. This afternoon are all on offense, and we'll get to those when we bring the ball back offensively. Wildcats down inside the 25. Simon Fraser, the handoff once again to Floyd, and he's churning up yardage against this Simon Fraser defense. See some substitutions coming in, bringing in 4 new players there, Simon Fraser, and just trying to get everybody out there as this is the final game of the season. Let them play and see what some of these young kids got. 2nd and 2. Floyd in the backfield. Moore under pistol. Give this to Floyd. The SFU brings some heat. It's going to be brought down by Anthony Crescenzo in the backfield. Loss of 2. SFU just brought the house on that one. You could tell. Sold out for the run, and it worked. Now in at running back is Eric Wilkes, who we've seen earlier. Kind of the spell back for Roots. 3rd and 4. Double tight end set. Moore throws to his left, and it is knocked away. Great play by Dawson Marchant. Intended on the play for number 19, Kellen Gregory, redshirt freshman. Fourth and 4 now. Pistol set. The give, and he's going to be tackled in the backfield. Great play. Floyd with the carry. but well wrapped up in the backfield by Griffin Barrett. Makes a nice play to force that turnover. Simon Fraser will take over. Just under 11 minutes left. We'll see Mihai Lapus once again. We mentioned him already. A few other seniors that we're honoring today. Kester Awunzi, wide receiver from Nigeria. Been playing football for just the past 4 years when he came to university. He's an economics major with a minor in business. He wants to pursue football as long as possible and then start his own business. Here we see a nice dangle by Hines. He gets walloped on the play by 51, Bailey Sparks, but gets about 4 yards. A couple offensive linemen were honored before the game as well. Stefan Tange, offensive lineman from Russell, Ontario. He's a crim and kinesiology major and wants to play some football and then work in social work afterwards. And finally, Tyler Wood, the senior from San Diego. He was joined by his parents Gordon and Don and his sister Megan. Had been playing football for 15 years. Tyler was named a GNAC second team all 2018 second team all GNAC player and was on the GNAC all academic team in 2019. He's a history major and plans to become a high school teacher or counselor. And his favorite memories were snow days during spring practice, which I guess when you're from California, you're not going to see much snow. And finally, SFU's biggest impact player this season, Ryzen John, the senior from Vancouver, BC, was here with his parents Sherlyn and Carla, playing football for the past 8 years. Last season, he was a second-team GNAC All-Player who led the conference in receptions and receiving yards and can expect something similar this year. Right now, he's the leader in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns. Ryzen wants to continue to playing in the NFL and CFL level. And his favorite memory, of course, was that huge GNAC win over Azusa Pacific a few weeks ago. The first GNAC win since 2015 for this program. So we've got a 3rd and 5 here for Simon Fraser. Lapust in the pistol. It's Kircher in the backfield. They're going to take a timeout to talk about it. And we will take a short break. I'll be right back with you after this. All right, folks, and we are back. After that timeout, Simon Fraser reassess what they're doing here on 3rd down. 3rd and a long 5, maybe 6, we'll call it. Casey Kircher in the backfield with Mihai Lapust in pistol. Lapust looks to his left, pass complete to number 6, Morrison. That's going to be a 1st down. Nice timing route there by Lapust as Morrison broke out of his route. Lapust stuck that ball right on him. We're, of course, coming to you from Swangard Stadium here in Burnaby, BC. It's possible this is the last game here at Swangard Stadium for Simon Fraser, as we've played here in the past, but now a new facility being built up on Simon Fraser's home campus up on Burnaby Mountain. Will be complete by August 2020, we've been told. And next year we'll be coming to you from the friendly confines of Terry Fox Field up on Burnaby Mountain. Solomon Hines adds to his day up over 130 yards. on the game. Had a couple big plays, and of course one called back. Now the throw is deep to a Winsey. Incomplete. Covered on the play by Patrick Rogers. Lapousse looking for the senior. Targeted earlier in the game and drew a pass interference, or a hold, I should say, and gave Simon Fraser a first down, but wasn't able to connect on that one. And we'll see Lapousse here in the pistol, 3rd and 6. Try and convert this one. 3 receivers to the far side. He looks that way. Passes complete to Morrison, right at the sticks. Maybe just a half-yard short. So bring up 4th down, and I assume Simon Fraser would go for this one.
Actually, not giving the forward progress on that one, so a 3rd throw, really close to a first down.
4th and about 1, and Simon Fraser will try and quickly get up on the ball. Give to Kircher, and he's not going to get it. Dragged back. Number 33, Tevin Gray. We've called his name a couple times today. He, of course, picked up that pivotal punt block earlier in the game. It gave Central Washington their first lead of the game, and it's continued that way for Simon Fraser as we sit at 51-14 for the Wildcats. Just under 8 minutes to go. Central Washington brings in their backup running back, Zach Floyd. I assume we'll see a healthy dose of his name. More pump fakes, goes to his right, throws downfield, and falls incomplete as the receiver slipped. Tyjon Mizutani fell and couldn't quite regain his balance. Both number 8, Cummings, and Marchant were in the area. We see on the far side Adam Turin coming in to be the nickel corner. The give is to Floyd. No, kept by Moore, and he slides. Gives himself up after a gain of 2, maybe 3. 3rd and 7 now. Substitution coming in is Isaac Muckian, bringing in another linebacker, perhaps to bring some heat here on this 3rd down play. 3rd and 8. Moore's looked poised and confident back there today. 4 touchdowns on the game and 1 rushing. Looks to his right, now goes back to his left. Dekes a tackle, and he's going to run and flip it forward, and it is caught.
Pass complete, number 7
I think it was to 85. Cole Peckham, the tight end, and just sort of flipped it forward. Like a pitch or a shovel pass, but thrown to 85, Cole Peckham. And gives Simon Fraser, gives Central Washington a first down. Moore in the pistol. Gives to Floyd, slips a bit in the backfield, but able to cut to his left and drag some tacklers. Will get 4 yards and a little bit more dirt on his jersey. Rain had subsided for a bit, but now it looks like it's starting to trickle again. It's been raining pretty consistently since last night here in Burnaby. And the Central Washington Wildcats are going to clinch their 3rd consecutive GNAC championship as they will split this year's championship with Western Oregon, both having 7-1 records. really on the back of Christian Moore and Michael Roots. Both those players leading their respective categories. Moore in passing and Roots just dominating the GNAC in rushing. Kudos to Simon Fraser, who had held him in check, but Moore has been a revelation here. Up over 250 yards and 4 touchdowns on the day, adding to his GNAC leading. I think now that's 28 touchdowns on the season. Moore looks to his right, and he's going to run it. Looked like a design draw, and he's going to get the first down and run out of bounds. And see some flags after the play here on the near sideline, sort of away from the play. That was 49 Muckian and 12 Robert Mason getting into it. Not sure who they're going to call it against, but the referees are discussing. Folks, we'd like to thank, of course, our production crew, all of the people behind the scenes who put this production together for Simon Fraser and Clan TV. Happy to bring you another season of GNAC football. Of course, not done for the day. Simon Fraser currently volleyball in action. Senior night tonight. And they'll just be offsetting penalties. But I do mention Simon Fraser in action tonight. Senior night for volleyball, a pivotal game tonight for the volleyball team as they are looking to sneak into the West region as hopefully the 8 or 9 seed. Tonight they're playing Alaska Anchorage in a matchup that could decide that final seed. So the first down does stand, offsetting penalties. Floyd drags a tackler and was 25 Ian Crocker on the tackle. Picks up about 6. The clock ticks down to 4 minutes. And now the rain is really starting to come down here. Moore with the give to Floyd, and he sort of slipped down, fell down near the yardsticks, and it will be a first down. They do give it to him. Keep churning that clock. Floyd having himself a nice fourth quarter here as the senior from Beaverton, Oregon, is playing his final game for the Wildcats. Flags fly. Moore's going to look left. He throws it up in the end zone. And that's too far, way out of bounds. Intended for number 19, Kellen Gregory. Might as well take a shot when you know the defense has jumped offside, and that's exactly what the referee calls. So it'll now be 1st and 5. Double tight end formation, which we've seen before. Floyd splits to the right, and the give is to Floyd. He's got some room on the left. He'll be wrapped up for about a gain of a yard, and that was number 2, Duda, in on the play.
Now it's time for these players, who stay regarding the season, and who steps up next year? Who do you think is the big star? Obviously, you have and Roots returning, but some of these guys are going to step up into new positions. There's going to be...
As the clock ticks under 3 minutes left, of course, we are honoring our 9 outgoing seniors here this afternoon, playing their final game, wearing the red and white of Simon Fraser, and interested to see, of course, who replaces those players and how the off-season development will go as Simon Fraser continues to build on what will be Coach Tom Ford's 3rd season next year, getting a brand new facility, an interesting quarterback battle between Justin Siebert and Brandon Nixich, a couple freshman running backs coming back in Glover and Hines, losing a big wide receiver in Ryzen John, but multiple young wide receivers that have shown they belong in the GNAC. 3rd and 5, flips to the right and incomplete, intended for Mizutani. Good coverage there by Gerald Cummings, and as we talk about this defense, very excited to see what this young unit can do. I've talked about these freshman corners a lot today, Gerald Cummings and Dawson Marchant, and they've held their own this afternoon. Of course, losing a big piece on the back end and down the middle, James Pack, the defensive lineman, and Matt Duda, the safety. 4th and 5 here for the Wildcats. They're going to go for it. Rolls to his right. Looks into the end zone and knocked away. Great coverage there by Jarrell Cummings, and I think that's probably his 5th pass breakup. He leads the GNAC, I believe, now in that category, and such a great player. Good coverage right out of the break. Ran the route better than the receiver did and made a play on the ball, knocked it away, giving Simon Fraser the ball with minute 43 left. And I'd like to take this opportunity to once again thank the production crew for Clan TV, everybody behind the scenes, stat keepers, event staff for putting on such a great season here at Swangard Stadium. It's our satellite home for the season, and we'll be back in our new digs in 2020. Thank you to everyone who's helped out and been with us throughout this season. As we mentioned, Simon Fraser, of course, getting their first GNAC win since 2015 this season. And we'll look to build on that success moving forward into next year. A couple quarterbacks that will have developed over the offseason and move into their sophomore seasons. Offensive line losing 2 big starters. And we'll see who comes in to replace those guys. That'll be one of the big question marks as we move into next season. Clock ticks under 1 minute. Simon Fraser. You can see it on the far sideline. Central Washington coach Chris Fisk gets the double dose of Gatorade tubs and a share of the GNAC title. Again, their 3rd straight season, at least having a piece of that GNAC title. And congratulations to those Central Washington Wildcats for us on a strong season, a 7-1 record, and really prove that they are the class of the GNAC conference with a 51-14 victory here today at Swangard Stadium. So Metzelar's in his end zone. He's going to punt this one away. And I expect just a couple knees from the Central Washington Wildcats.
Be part of this championship game.
And Simon Fraser will down it at the 48-yard line, and Central Washington will go into victory formation as they celebrate their third straight GNAC championship. Kudos to them on a strong season and a great year of GNAC football. So Simon Fraser's going to finish the GNAC season 1-7. Of course, as I mentioned, that one win, their first since 2015. But very excited to see where this team goes and how they build in the offseason. Obviously, you don't love going 1-7, but as a team, you're happy to get that victory, get that monkey off your back, and have an opportunity to build on something here that Coach Thomas Ford is building, and as the team seems very excited about. So, final kneel down, 15 seconds. Tick off the clock. Once again, congratulations to the Central Washington Wildcats as they go through the handshakes with Simon Fraser. Once again, thank you to the cast and crew for everybody here at Simon Fraser, everyone here on Clan TV. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Nick Sersky. Thanks again for the wonderful season, and we'll see you up on Terry Fox Field in 2020.